the magnitude of what's about to happen. It's an incredible time to live through this. And we got a lot to break down today. Massive shifts that many people, might not understand at a very deep level. And if you're able to focus your attention through this lesson today, you might want to grab a pen and paper. Do you realize the magnitude of what's about to happen? I know many people have been researching this for years, and we're living through this time right now. We just had the sun fire off a barrage, an onslaught of X-class solar flares. And we're already seeing the changes from the first round. Look at all the crazy weather patterns. We're already seeing, which I'm going to discuss in today's lesson, big consciousness drops, what they mean, how we see the bigger picture. You might be a person and you say, like, why do we have to be dislodged? The intensity of what we're being blasted with right now. You might be a person that's listening, you're tuned in, and you felt, especially in post-2020, and I'm going to be breaking this down to a fine powder today, you were in a long-term holding pattern, and you might have felt like you're never going to get out of it. You're going to get out of it today, kid. We're all going to get out of it. The magnitude of what's going to happen is on a scale that you don't have anything according to your everyday life, what you have lived through at a level that you've been living on, plane of existence, a frequency. You don't have anything to compare it to. And in your subconscious, that's why you have to go through this this very deep pain that many people have had. Your belief, biology of belief, Dr. Bruce Lipton, your beliefs, everything has to be activated at a very intense level. The seeds that you've planted over the past few years, this massive energy from the sun is going to help them sprout. So I'm grateful for everyone that is coming on right now. This is the magnitude of what we are experiencing. And before I begin the lesson, I know that there are people that just assume that it's just going to be like a blast of fire that just eradicates us all. So that's not what I'm going to be discussing today. And when we have to, because these are pictures that are painted, or what we perceive, or what has been shown by other people on social media, or because we've all listen, there's a lot of people that are tuned in. You've been through a lot of trauma, so you in your subconscious, you have been bracing for impact. Post 2020, all the things I'm discussing today. Think about that. Did you reach a place? So many crazy things happen, and then you reach this place, and then you said to yourself, you know what? I'm constantly waiting, bracing for impact, the chaos, and I'm going to go through three things that the magnitude of the change that's going to happen right now. These three things, and you're going to write them down. You're going to focus on them. You're going to have to see the chaos, and it's literally these three things that I'm telling you. You got to really focus. I know there's paradoxical things I'm going to be discussing today. You're literally going to see the opposite in a massive blast that we're all experiencing this massive blast right now. So we're going to get into this lesson. I'm grateful if you could click the like button. We're live, and that allows others to get this message. The magnitude of what we are about to experience and what is going to happen. Things happen energetically before they manifest physically. And we're looking at a Carrington event level and another synchronicity. So yesterday on Facebook, I saw Mr. MBB333, and those were the synchronicities of the 333. So on Facebook, He took AR 4366 and he matched it up with the Carrington event. And AR 4366 looks actually bigger than the Carrington event. And in the history that we could remember or that we're working with, the Carrington event was the biggest solar activity. So when you looked at that, and I saw that, and you could hit me up on Facebook, and I share throughout the day on Facebook, and our community grows there as well. We're looking at the magnitude, and in previous times, right? If you go back and you research the Carrington event, that was the biggest piece of solar activity, energy, is the ability to cause change. And he's showing us that AR 4366, matching it up with the Carrington event. Right now, it's bigger. Big stuff is about to pop off, baby. So as you are going along in this lesson, you have to understand that the sun is connected to consciousness, brain waves. People have been on this journey. You knew about the Great Solar Flash event. And the main idea is not a fireball that is going to nuke everything, all right? So that's not what I'm here to discuss today. But what I'm here to discuss today are the deep-rooted things that must be cleared and removed from society so that we could ascend. Each and every one of us are carrying things, maybe in the subconscious, hasn't really served our purpose. So it has to get very intense. It's got to get, and it has to clear things away. When you are dealing with, like certain things, like we see the crazy weather patterns that we're experiencing. But in the past, about, 48 hours since I'm recording this, if you go on Facebook and other places as well, people are sharing all of these drops from a particular list. Do you see these drops from the list? I'll call it the list of Jericho. I like to keep it positive. I don't like to have negativity. Okay. The list of Jericho. Okay. You didn't want to be on the list of Jericho. You're on the list. Okay, some people remember that, right? But we're going to keep it positive on this channel. But they say a list, right? So all the people, right, they're posting all this stuff, right? The people on X are posting all this stuff. And the collective is waking up the consciousness. Oh, and it keeps expanding outward, and it keeps expanding outward. So when you're dealing with the list drops, there are multiple layers of what's going on. And what we're learning is that some of this stuff, you have to do your inner work first in order to receive the messages. So what I do, and as I'm out there, and I go out there like Kermit. Remember Kermit the Frog? Remember the meme? So like around lunchtime, right? Around lunchtime, have my lunch. I sit back. Right? I sit back. I got this is coffee, but he's got his little tea, right? Kermit's got. You love Kermit, right? He's got his tea. And I go, and I say like this. I say, what's the what are the humans posting about? And I go on my list there, right? And I look, and I sit back, and I observe quietly. I just observe quietly. And I say, what are the humans posting here, right? And now I'm getting a snapshot. I'm getting a snapshot of what's going on in society, and what I'm seeing is, and I keep pumping it. I keep telling people, you're going to have to work on yourself in order to survive what's coming, okay? Because you're not going to see these things. You got to open that third eye. So what I see is a lot of people, as I just sit back, according to, say, like their quote unquote side or political affiliation, all these fake labels and the ego, they post things that are AI generated pictures, And it doesn't matter so they take their people or the opposite people, and they post the picture, and what about this? And what about this? And it just keeps going on and on and on. And I just sit back and I watch, and maybe I'm knocking it out of the park. Maybe you see this as well. And I say to myself, you can't see that this is AI generated stuff. So what's happening right now is what's actually being revealed is what's inside of people. All right. So some people in the world, they go out there and they want to post certain things, but what are you actually seeing? Okay, TJ Bacon knows about Clown World. So there's Clown World out there. I told you, you don't want to go outside. You got to go inside. The solar flash is an inside job. So there are different levels and layers. There's a lot of chaos that's being flung up. So the main idea, right, there's a lot of stuff that has to be cleared and removed from, say, the humanity, from society. But then we're also seeing, especially within adults, people that they're just posting everything. So one of the things that you have to be focused on at this time is really getting your clairs up. What are you actually looking at? Are you looking at something that's truthful or a lie, and so on and so forth? The blast that we're going through with the sun, okay? It is to blast away a long-term holding pattern. You might be tuned in right now and you said, I never got traction. You were never able to get traction in a certain, maybe area in your life. And you felt like you were on a hamster wheel, keep looping the same thing over and over again. So this energy is to dislodge us. The magnitude of what we're about to experience, something that you, the person that's getting this message, me, anyone that's tuned in, we're all over the world. Where are you located? Let us know in the comments. Okay? No, so your life, I know a lot of people, you had this and you kept looping the same thing. So this energy's got to blast us loose. The magnitude of what's about to happen. You felt, I know there's people that are tuned in right now, and you're saying, you felt I'll never get out of it. Really, in a post-2020 world, you never were able to get traction in a certain area in your life. All right. And it's just like, it kept like, you maybe got a little movement, and then it stopped again. And you got a little movement, and then it stopped again. So there has to be an overhaul of the frequency. There has to be an overhaul of the subconscious programs. There has to be an overhaul of the nervous system. Otherwise, we're never going to be dislodged. It's time for all of us to finally move forward. BJ Prickett, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so grateful for the support. Love the messages and unconditional love. Look forward every day. My Our Everyday Lives family. Love you all. I'm so grateful for the super chat. I'm grateful for the love. Thank you for that very much. Yeah, why don't you take the journey with us here? You could click subscribe. Take the Our Everyday Lives challenge. Show up for every day for 3 months, and maybe you'll be on a brand new timeline. Okay. So what needs to be changed right now? What are the energy themes in this highly charged energetic event? Stability, security, and your resources. I want you to think about that. Stability. Has your life been stable? We are the magnitude. You got to listen carefully to what I'm saying right now, because a lot of these things, you got to listen. You got to understand paradoxes. You have to understand the bridge of incidence. We are being blasted with the sun right now, and it's not stopping. Stability. We are finally having stability. However, in the now moment, you are seeing total chaos. Okay, so this is the paradox. This is crossing the bridge of incidence. The whole society is doing this right now. We are crossing the bridge of incidence. it could be chaos, like the energetic blasts that we're getting right now. It's chaos to bring stability, finally having stability, right? Maybe in your, remember, everyone is in a different stage in their life as we go on the wheels of the 8 dimensions of wellness. Finally, stability in your love life. Finally, stability with your job, your work. Finally, stability with your living locations. Some people, it's always an energy theme. You plug and play on this channel. Plug and play. All right. You're bouncing from apartment to apartment, and you can't get your nervous system set. You keep attracting the same kind of guy. Okay, I get that from the ladies a lot. Okay, you keep bouncing around from one next guy, all this other stuff. Finally, stability. But we have to go through that chaos period. Okay, the money, the finances up and down and touch the ground like Winnie the Pooh. So it's finally stability. Felix, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm very grateful for the support. Felix writes, greetings from Germany. Michael, keep up the warrior spirit. I'm so grateful for that, Felix. Thank you so much for that. Cliff, I love you. Thank you so much. Grateful for the super chat. Cheers to you. Cup of Joe around for everyone. Very grateful for you, Cliff. We get everyone? Okay. Security. Maybe in your work, you're building up, and then like you get knocked down. You're building up, and then you got to start, and so you're not gaining traction. You need to have that security where now it's forward motion. Now you build, and then you don't have to rebuild. You keep building. Do you understand? So right now, it looks like chaos, but it has to be blasted and blasted away. It's got to be real strong. It's got to be really powerful. So now, in the world, in the reality that you're living in, ready? In the reality that you don't build and then it gets knocked down. Oh, now I got to build and build again. How many people does that resonate with? Okay, you are maybe in a from around 2020, a little bit before that. This has been the energy theme. You build and build. You knock down. Now I got to build and build again. And you keep, and you make some increases, right? But it's always that pattern, that loop. You build and build, and then it gets knocked down. So now we have security. Now you build and build, and now you're finally the magnitude of what's about to happen. Oh, I never reached this level before. Oh my God. Wow, what a change. What a relief. Security in our everyday lives. Everyone's writing security in our everyday lives. And the resources. So you were able to acquire resources. Okay, resources comes in many different forms. It doesn't always have to be just money. Money is currency. It's a tool, right? But it does come in many forms. The resources that you need. And sometimes the resources that we need actually come in the form of people. You have no idea the power of true divine connections. Could be from friendships, working, or maybe you have a divine counterpart, a real actual relationship. Not, I'm hanging out with this one for 2 months and then she flakes out, and then I gotta hang out for this one, and then she flakes out, right? Who's resonating, right? Oh, you hang out with this guy, right? Oh, you realize he's a beta male, right? And then you go on this. No. So now we got to keep building. Now, right? I delivered a message over the course of last year. Last year was a wild one. It was a wild one, right? So the message I delivered said, God says no more to the Band-Aids. Like these were like the little Band-Aids that you had, the little Band-Aids. No, now we need permanence. Now it's permanent change. So I hope that breaking this down, why this energy has to be so intense right now, and the magnitude of what we're all going to experience, because we've never experienced it before in our life. Finally, stability, security, resources. We're out of that long-term holding pattern. We are dislodged. We're being blasted. We're blasted onto the scene. And again, it's for your everyday life. There's things that, I might be popping up on your screen for first time in a while, but it's in the past few years, there's stuff that I had to work on. And I'm called to work on these things. And as I share, you might be on this for an energy update. You're really how to differentiate yourself, because not everyone is going to go through this, okay? What were the seeds that you planted over the past few years? I don't know the answer. So what you want to do, and you're going to click subscribe, and you're going to be part of this journey, and you have to realize that there's things that we have to do. That's what I provide here in this community, on this channel. Healthy, wealthy, wise, moving forward. These are the pillars. These are the pillars of your life, right? Your health, your wealth, your relationship, vocation. You ready to have those strong pillars? So now this energy, finally you have stability, security, resources for those pillars. This is the magnitude of what we're about to experience. The big release that we're all, like the sun is giving us a big release of energy, a big blast. And again, are there crazy stuff when it comes to the weather, the chaos? Absolutely. But again, that chaos that we have to we got to stir it up. Happens in the world, happens inside of our body. That's why you might be a person that's tuned into this, and you went through massive ascension symptoms, and you're going to continue to feel this. And a lot of this comes from your belief. If you do not, and if you don't know Dr. Bruce Lipton, the biology of belief, real, actual, tangible stuff that you've been doing, you just didn't gain traction on it. It comes from a different place. How you doing? Is one of the terms that I use here. It comes from a different place. Yeah, I'm studying all these things, doing all this, right? Have you been doing this work, or are you like just scrolling on Instagram, right? Doing all that other stuff, right? I don't know the answer. You know the answer. So now when you have a catalyst event, this is a catalyst event to dislodge us. You kept building, you kept planting those seeds. You kept planting those seeds, even though you didn't gain traction. Now those seeds are able, it's getting the energy that it needs to start sprouting. There's a time period, right? And the sun sends the energy under the earth. All of a sudden, if you go out in nature, you observe these things. You see, all of a sudden, the plants start sprouting. All of a sudden, those ants, they know. And all of a sudden, because I'm always outside, and then you see, oh, look at the anthills. Oh, I know that times have changed, right? We're going into spring, for example. I posted a funny post on Facebook today. Enough of this cold. Are you tired of this cold? I know that there's people in different areas of the world, but yeah. And there is something when you think of the magnitude of the energies when it comes to your subconscious, your nervous system. I'm going to give you the main idea for this lesson today, and it's never going to change. Never. Galactic Plays Games. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so grateful for the support. Galactic Plays Games writes, it's crazy that we can only see 0.0035% of the light spectrum. Makes you wonder what's hiding in what we can't see. God bless, Michael. I appreciate that, Galactic Plays Games. Thank you so much for the super chat and the beautiful energies. Yeah. And that's why, the certain, it's so much more than visible light. And there are people that are able to, you could see auras, or maybe you've seen orbs, certain things. You see beyond, because the human eyes are designed to see that visible light. There's a group of people, including myself, I've done videos on this, that you see a change in the sun. And you didn't in a pre 2012 world, right? The sun had a different color, and if you're able to, kind of, gaze at the sun, you see almost like this. It's more white with an indigo halo, like a halo around the sun in your eyes when you look at it, not just like a regular yellow sun, like we used to. It still has that color at sunrise and sunset. But anyone that would like to comment on that, or let us know. So when you get to the sun, when you understand consciousness, how the sun is directing it, and human brain waves when it comes to the solar flares, and again, it's good, and it could be people will rise, and people will also be irritated. I share about my sauna journey. All right. Anyone that wants to become healthy, click subscribe, check out my wellness videos. And everyone's like 99% of the time, everyone's like positive in there because everyone has that mindset of detoxing and being healthy. But yesterday, like I see someone come in, like angry, looked angry at me, comes in like, and then kind of like lays out. And then more people come in, and then this nice fella comes in. He goes, "Is there enough room in here for me?" Like nice, a gentleman. And this other guy like kind of gets up, and he looked at him like he wanted to like hit him or something. Like he was like, So and he sits down, and all I do is I sit. I'm like Kermit the Frog. I just sit. I'm watching. I'm observing, and this is how I'm getting the evidence of what's going on. So when it gets really intense right now, you're going to see that. So there can be people that are the energy's like it's coming up in them. And he did not look too pleased that he had to like get up and sit up straight. So that it was a nice guy, So I'm just sharing that as an everyday life example. You might see these things because the energy's high. We're always observing. Lowell, I know the watchers are here. Are you watching? Oh, I appreciate you being here. Yeah. Okay, let's get into the main idea here. Okay, we are a frequency. We have subconscious programs. We have a nervous system, and there are people on this live stream right now. Maybe you hear me on the podcast on YouTube Music. How you doing? You got to focus on this in your life, right? So let's go back to everything we said, right? You wanted this, your pillars, right? You wanted to be healthy again. You wanted to have wealth. You want to have a real, actual relationship, right? You want your vocation in life, all these things. So you have to understand this. You do not get what you want. We get who and what we are conscious of being. It is your internal I am identity. For several years, I've been saying the solar flash is an inside job. You could write it in the comments. And anyone that's hearing this right now, and you could smash the like button if you've realized this. In our lives, we do not get what we want. We get for who and what we are conscious of being. What is your internal chat? What are you conscious of? We're going to get real deep right now. You might have went through a lot of pain in the past few years. And that was to get you to realize, it gets you to realize, right? You might have been going through a lot of stuff. It's your worth. You're worthy. You're worthy of these things. Finally, I'm worthy. So there has to be a deep inner change. It's got to get very intense. And the sun kind of is blasting us, is sending us. We have the strength, the magnitude of what we're experiencing right now. Carrington level event. Doesn't mean this big fireball is going to end all existence. There can be a continuation of crazy weather that we're experiencing. Absolutely. We could have increased earthquakes and volcanism. Absolutely. But the big earthquake, the big shakeup is happening inside of us. It's happening within our consciousness. Papa Smurf writes, it's bringing the truth out. Yeah. So that when we think about how massive what's about to happen, we already see this. And in your life, like, and again, you have to think of society as a whole. I gave you one example earlier, and a lot of you are awake and aware of these things, but 80% of the population, not able, just on that loop. Yeah, Pareto's principle, right? So now we're already, we had wave one, massive energetic event in the sun, right? Now we could see the crazy chaos, the weather, and now we see certain shifts in the public consciousness, right? And that was from the first one. So now we have next solar energy coming in, next solar flash coming in. So now what is the magnitude? We already had one, remember momentum, and it piles up and it piles up and it piles up. It's wave after wave. And it cannot affect us all at once. Dolores Cannon spoke about this. It's too much for the human body to do it all at once. Even on my journey, I was on my my awakening journey, unlearning and relearning. And when you have these beliefs in your subconscious, and you've had them for so long, like there was a time I would go through, I would go and study things for like a week straight. And I'm a person, I go to the gym, bro, right? I'm working out, I'm lifting all these weights, and when I start going down that rabbit hole, I start studying all these things, and I'm rewiring my subconscious. I'm exhausted on the couch. How many people went through this? So there's a tremendous amount of energy when you're thinking about your nervous system, the recalibration. What's running in the background is more important. The subconscious, right? And again, it takes so much effort. 5% conscious, 95% subconscious. The comment earlier about a visible light only being that such a small fraction of the electromagnetic spectrum. So many things are running in the background that we don't have a clue of. So this is why it's got to rise up right now. It does, Sean. You're curling the coffee cup, Sean. I appreciate everyone coming in. Yeah. And we learn a lot. Some people are writing, Melanie's writing something. You might be a person, and so God is going to task us all. Listen carefully to the message. God is going to task us all for certain things. I like to use examples like stone soup, right? There are certain things. I bring a unique, I'm pretty unique, right? How you doing? I bring a unique energy signature to the world. I do certain things that nobody else can do. And you're doing the same thing. And I don't have to be like anybody else. And you don't, and you don't have to, wow. Let me give you permission today, right? You want permission? You be yourself. So, but what we're tasked to do, Melanie just wrote something. There's going to be something. This is how we work in our intuition. This is how we're listening to the word of God. Have full video on the channel page, how to decipher if it's the word of God. Is it God speaking to you, or is this just your ego talking? You watch that video. How's it going? The spine is tight again. Maybe your spine locks up also when you feel when the solar flares come in. So you feel the tenseness in the spine. It's like tight and then it loosens. Tight. It's wild. So you're going to be tasked for certain things. You're going to be tasked for certain like areas or where your post post is and where you're supposed to be representing. Like, for example, on my journey, okay, I share on Facebook, and the content on Facebook explodes and erupts, right? Hit me up on Facebook. And, like, I tried TikTok a little bit, and I have a friend, and they do like similar type of work, and they get no traction on Facebook, and they get traction on TikTok. So I'm just utilizing this. I share examples from my journey, and you just apply it to yours. Right? So there's going to be certain area, and God's going to task you, and and so that's your path. Not everyone's path is the same. All right? So people that watch me on a regular basis, you see the content that I bring. I got to be focused on, I stay in my lane. And those that are showing up every day, you see how all these different things actually kind of fit together. And these are the things that God has tasked me to do. Like those things over there, I'm not tasked to do, so I stay away from them. Do you understand? Just because public opinion or people or the spiritual narcissist on the internet. Do you see them out there? They tell you what? No, you got to do you. I hope everyone smashes the like button for that one, because this is what we have to realize. We have to realize our power. And until it gets this intense, it's very intense right now. I get it. It's got to get this intense in the now moment, so that we can finally break that loop, so that we can finally move forward. This is the magnitude of the shift that we're all going through. And some of the things that I talked about throughout this lesson, clown world. Did you realize that a lot of this world was backwards? I'm going to say it again. Did you realize that a lot of this stuff was backwards in the world? So that's why we need boom, reset. And and a lot of it too is paradoxical things, and you have to learn how to navigate it. I had to learn how to navigate a lot of these things as well. And there are many paradoxical concepts to the way that energy flows. But when we have this massive energy that's coming in, we're always and forever going to remember that energy is the ability to cause change. How much change is happening in year one? This is year one for those that are new. This is a brand new beginning. This is year one. You could throw up 1111 in the chat, in the comments. This is year one. Okay? So from year one, now we build. Now go back to earlier in the lesson, the magnitude, the energy to finally have stability. You were doing this work. We all were for the past few years, but we never gained the traction. We were in the holding pattern. And the reason why God allowed this to happen for a sustained period of time is so that you're fine-tuning your skills. All right, I'm not the same level that I was when I started this 7 years ago. 777. What a blessing, this 777 blessing. So sometimes we don't realize the blessing. Sometimes we don't realize, why do I have to go through this for? Oh, because once you realize your belief, once your subconscious, once we go through this chaos, we're going to see the exact opposite of the pillars. We're going to see as the solar flares are blasting off, the stability, security, resources, right? And the one other thing I want to talk about when I talk about the magnitude of everything is something that I'm seeing posted, and I'm going to go into this very detailed at an energetic level. Are the posts of the EBS matching up with Super Bowl logo? And that's why, like, I sit and I look back at the past, I see the synchronicities, the correlations, the same energy kind of rolls over. All right. I appreciate everyone that just came on. If you hit that like button so others can listen to this as well. So the magnitude. So now you have, because we do, as I stated earlier, say earthquakes, volcanism, massive bursts that come from the sun at this time, and a lot of people were showing the colors of the logo and showing how it looks like the colors of the emergency broadcast. Jaroslaw Kubek, thank you so much for the super chat. Channel member, Light Warrior, I'm very grateful for the support. Thank you very much for that. So now we have, and we know what can come, and we know what can come from a massive solar flare event. And so people are posting about the Super Bowl logo and emergency broadcast, so on and so forth. So and that's going to be right on the West Coast. Listen carefully, because I'm going to say a lot of things you say, I never heard this before. And some things in life are just, when you look at synchronicities, energies that loop, so on and so forth. All right, you hear about, like, earthquakes when the sun blasts off, and years ago during the World Series, which was also over there was an earthquake during the World Series, and I was kind of like a toddler, unconscious. So I don't really recall how it felt, but I'm sure there's people so now everyone's tuned into the World Series back in the day. Listen, right? So people are tuned in back in the day. Everyone's tuned into the World Series, earthquakes going on. So now we have the Super Bowl at the time that a massive energy just came in. And then I see people sharing how it looks like emergency broadcast. And so, again, not saying that is going to happen, but when you look at, I like to refer to stone tape theory, and you could see in the past, in the location and a major event, even though I know it's World Series and Super Bowl, but that same type of energy where everyone's tuned in, and then you have a massive earthquake or a massive shakeup. That is, and it could be driven by the sun. So when we are looking at these synchronicities that are playing out, we are prepared, and we're not prepared in a place of fear, because when the energy rises up, those that experience ascension symptoms, and you felt it, I went into detail, solar plexus yesterday. You check that out if you haven't. It's got to build up. It's got to build up, and then it's got to be released. It's got to be released, people. So that energy that's bubbling up inside of you, maybe you have ascension symptoms, part of the body. So now you go out and you could look at the world. You could look at the earth, and the energy's bubbling up, and then it has to be released. So in order for us to have the stability, security, the resources, in order for us to be, fine-tuned, for those that never gained any traction with your health, your wealth, your relationship, your vocation in life, these things that we're seeing the magnitude, is actually a time to rejoice, but there is chaos. Again, I know this is paradoxal. How you doing? I know it's paradoxal, but this is how it does happen. This is how it is. Hermetic principle of rhythm. Okay, I know it. I get it. I get it, bro. I get it. So there's chaos for the stability. There's chaos for the shakeup, for the security. And there could also be a pullback of resources for the explosion of resources. Absolutely, faith, and we need to have faith in our lives right now. It's not a time period to be scared, because if you're living in that fear-based vibration, And that's why I keep putting out the positive messages, and I appreciate everyone sharing and pushing it forward. If you're immersed in that frequency, if you're immersed on sitting on the couch and waiting, it's going to bring forth more waiting. If you're a person that's tuned in and in any aspect of your life, and you know that you planted seeds, you've been doing either the inner work, the shadow work, or actually putting out work, it really hasn't popped off yet. You know that you've planted these seeds. So now it's time for this to, and this burst of energy, the magnitude, that earthquake shakeup. This is the main event, kid. Yeah. 111. This is year one. So for the big fireworks, it's just a fireworks celebration. And know that in this paradoxal hermetic principle of rhythm, the chaos, the pullback, but it is needed for the magnitude of the change, the magnitude of the, I know there's people that get it, and there's people that might say, and I understand that, because listen carefully, you've never experienced before in your life. So you don't have anything in your subconscious to if you've had an experience before, right? And I teach the subconscious on this channel. All right. If you've had an experience before, then you guys compare that, right? So now we have something that we've never experienced the magnitude of this ever. So we look for things because we don't have it in the subconscious. And that's a good thing, because a lot of us, we had some programs, lack limitation, bracing for impact from the past. They had to be cleared, and this is where we are in the now moment. So I'm absolutely grateful for all of the support. If today's message resonated with you, why don't you kindly click the like button and click the subscribe button. We have daily videos, 9 a.m. Eastern time, to help you become the greatest version of yourself. And we're actually in this energy right now. So everything that I shared today, you're going to want to really focus on. The other night, I talked about the United States, 3 days of darkness. It seems a lot of people are resonating with that. You might want to check that out in full detail. All right. One of the main things, I'm just touching on the community. People will feel at some point intensity in the solar plexus area. That was yesterday. If you missed it, check out the channel page. Connect on Facebook. Utilize the hashtag OurEverydayLives. Connect on Patreon. There'll be a brand new video on Patreon this week. The link is in the description. And I love you. Gracefully aligned, Jen, Lacey, Kenna, love is here. Love is here. Yeah. And that's, sometimes we don't understand the magnitude of love. We think love is unicorns and rainbows and all this other stuff. But if you actually, which is also driven by this energy, if you go through a heart chakra activation, which I've shared, you might be tuned in. I got to have the heart chakra activation. It's terrifying. Right? So it's an intense time. Know that the level of this is Carrington level, and and that's why I appreciate everyone that shares, and we're all putting something. When you match that up, and we're at the ability for the change, the magnitude is greater than the Carrington level. And anyone that was able to focus their attention throughout this, I don't want you thinking about a fireball that is going to end everything. I just want you to know the magnitude of the change and the clearing in the subconscious. And it might feel like there is a fireball. I'm sorry. There might be a fireball. That's the Holy Spirit fire. It's blazing, light warriors. That fire that's inside of you, And I encourage everyone, I'm sharing, maybe you have been going through this and you feel how uncomfortable it is. I appreciate the community that shares because other people are reading, right? You might be reading the comments section, right? Like me, you're sitting back, you read the comment section, but share it because other people feel that. And, you know, okay, Midge is sharing right now live. Okay. Yeah, you feel the palpitations, right? So that is, you are picking up, you are in tuned to these energies that are beyond the visible light spectrum. So I love you all. More posts on Facebook, be a video on Patreon this week. We got TikTok, hashtag Our Everyday Lives. I think we got it all in, right? I am the defender of our everyday lives. No matter what comes your way, light warriors, just keep going. And now we're utilizing this energy to be warriors in this journey of ascension. And where are we going? No, we're going to destination unknown, baby. Destination unknown. So I love you guys, and you know, it's gonna be one heck of a ride. Grateful for all of you. Bye for now.